Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is a different kind of video. I am doing my usual makeup routine or my normal morning routine. So as you can tell, I've already brushed my teeth and I'm just washing my face with the Clean and Clear face scrub. I use this pretty much every morning because I do have dry skin, and it does help, especially I focus on the nose area, the T-zone kind of area, just to get all of that dry skin off. And there we go, that is pretty much my face washed and I'm all fresh and clean. Next I'm just going to put my trusty headband on, and I'm going in with some Revolution hyaluronic acid to put some moisture back in my face. This is the serum from Revolution Makeup. I love this one. Just get that all over the mush there. Next I'm going in with the Nivea Day and Night Cream, I believe that is. I'm trying to find a new moisturiser, but this one seems to be working quite well at the moment. Good for dry skin. Then I'll be going in next with the primer, and you can't tell what it is, but it is the Revolution Blur Primer. It's good for, it's like a pore filler. It's good for kind of my cheek area because that's where I get deep pores. And next I'm going in with the Soap and Glory Glow Drops. It comes in a little tube, as you can see. I just put that kind of sporadically all over my face, mainly the high points, a little bit less on my chin, and kind of buff that in with a little kabuki brush. Just to give my skin a little bit of a glow, because obviously with having dry skin it is quite dull, so this just helps underneath the foundation just to give that little bit of highlight. So after that's all buffed in, I am going in with the Ordinary foundation. It's quite a light foundation. It's really, really lightweight. It's good for kind of a no makeup days, and just for quick ones. So I just use a little Real Techniques brush just to kind of spread that all over my face to kind of get it where I want it, and then I'll go in with a beauty blender and just make sure that's blended into the skin seamlessly. So the main reason I do use two tools to put my foundation on is just because the beauty blender, when it's wet, does tend to soak up a lot of product. So that's why I like to move the product around and kind of get it where I want it with the Real Techniques brush, because it won't soak up as much. And then I will just go in with the beauty blender just to make sure the top layer is blended in. And now that that's all blended in, I'm going to go in with my brows next. So I'm just using a little spoolie just to brush all the hairs up in the right direction. And then I'm going to go in with the Eyelaw Brow Palette. It's got a pomade, a powder and a highlight in there. I'm just going to go in with the powder today just to fill in the brows, fill in all the sparse areas. I have had them microbladed before, so the shape is pretty much there. So it's nice and easy just to follow the shape. And I kind of focus more of the product on the ends of the brows because that's where it's the most sparse, and then I'll just kind of flick a little bit of the product in the front of the brow and then kind of blend it out with the spoolie again. And now that the brows are all done, I'm going to just shape them a little bit with some of the concealer from Revolution. I think that's a C2, so it's the lightest shade I have. Just popping a little dot of it underneath my brow, and then I'll use this flathead brush just to kind of move the product around and blend it to shape the bottom of that brow. I just find that I prefer doing it this way, so you can see more of the shape, and it kind of works as a base for my eyeshadow later as well. And now that I've shaped my brows to how I like, I will go back in with a spoolie just to make sure they're still all nice and fluffed, and then use whatever product is left on the flathead brush just to go around the tops of the brows, mainly the tail end, just to kind of fix that after brushing them up again, because a little bit of product can flick upwards. So this just cleans that up. I also forgot to put on lip balm right at the beginning of the video, so I'm putting it on now because they were feeling a bit dry. And the most exciting part is next, the eyeshadow. I'm going in with the Friends Lobster palette, which you'll see in a minute. I love it. Oh, it's so cool. So I'm just going in with the shade Transponster there, which is just like a light matte brown. I'm just packing that all over my lid. No rhyme or reason, really. On quick days, I just kind of like to put a wash of colour over, just to give my eyes a little bit of a pop and a shape. So I'm just kind of packing that all over and blending as I go. And I'm just packing it the same colour on the other side, and then I'm going in with a big fluffy brush and just blending the top of that out, up and outwards pretty much, just kind of elongate my eyes. And then I'm going in with some concealer underneath my eyes. That is, again, the Revolution one. I think it's in C5 because it's a bit closer to my actual skin colour. And I'm just putting two little dots, well, a little swipe and a dot. And then I'm using the Real Techniques brush again just to blend that out. And then I'll go in again with my Beauty Blender just to make sure that that is all blended nicely. And now that both eyes are blended, I'm going in with that same colour again, the Transponster, but I'm also putting in some Rosita the Cita, which is a darker matte brown, just underneath my eyes. I like to put a slightly darker colour underneath my eyes, just kind of add a bit more shape, really. So I'm just packing that on with a little tiny fluffy brush and blending that out with the larger fluffy brush. So once that's all blended, I'm going to do a quick wing liner, and I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hill Dip Brow in dark brown. I just prefer to use dark brown lately instead of black, especially in the day, just because it's not as harsh. And I'm just going in with my angled brush that I used for my eyebrows and just putting that wing right on. So as you can see there, I did make a slight mistake. It's not as straight as I'd want it to be, but that doesn't matter because I'm going to go back in with my flat brush and some concealer just to fix that wing. And I think I made a mistake on the other eye as well, so I'll fix both of those mistakes with a bit of concealer. now that I've fixed those wings as much as humanly possible, I'm going in with some waterproof mascara. This is the Aqualash from Primark. It's quite a cheap one and it's a pretty decent mascara, to be fair, but it doesn't matter, it doesn't need to be perfect because I am going to go in with lashes. And now that my top lashes are nice and coated, I'm going to go in with the MAC Duo Glue on some Demi Wispy lashes from Ardell. I've cut them down a little bit so that they just sit on the outer part of my eye. I just prefer to do it this way just so it elongates my eye a little bit and it doesn't look so short. And now that that's done, I'm going in with the NYX Face Palette and I'm going to use the darkest brown shade in there, and I'm just going to carve out my cheekbones. I go right underneath the cheek and then kind of blend it slightly upwards, but not so far on my cheek, just because then it kind of defeats the object. I'm trying to create a shadow under there to make my cheeks pop. And I also like to shade just under my lip there, just to create a bit of a shadow to make my lips look a little bit fuller. And then I'm going to go in with my jawline, trying to cover up that double chin. So I take it right under that jaw and then blend it downwards as much as I can. Don't worry if it still looks really dark at this point. I'm going to go over it with some translucent powder and I'm going to blend it out with a stippling brush. And next I'm going to contour my massive forehead. I'm just kind of contouring the sides, like where the temples are, just to kind of round out my forehead, just because I feel like it looks really square. That just could be me being crazy, but that's what I do to kind of round it out and make my face look a little bit more oval shaped. And once I've blended everything out with my stippling brush, I'm just going to go in with a little bit of nose contour with the same dark colour just down the sides of the nose, and then using the same brush to kind of blend it in a circular motion. And then I'll go over that with a bit of translucent powder and the big fluffy brush. And once that's all blended, I'm going to go back into my NYX palette with the lightest kind of translucent colour and just finish off the contour, like just brighten it up and mattify all the bits that need to be mattified. So my forehead and my chin usually get really shiny, so I'll just pop a bit of colour on there and then blend it all out. Blend, blend, blend. So once that's all done, I'm going in with my other friend's palette and I'm picking up the shade Julie with a big cheek brush, and I'm using that as blusher. Just popping that on the cheeks there and then a tiny bit on the nose for that kind of sunburnt look I see everywhere. And then just blending that out. Go into the same palette and use the highlight shade Mr. Heckles just for a touch of highlight on the really high points of the cheeks, and then a tiny bit on the nose, just a teeny tiny bit, and then just blend that out with a really, really tiny fluffy brush. moving on to lips, I'm using the W7 lip liner in Nude Dude, and I'm just going to overline my lips and fill them in. And once that's done, I'm going to use the Friends gloss in Rachel, which is just a clear gloss, and using a flat brush to get it off the end of the doe foot and just popping that all over my lips. Okay, we're nearly there, guys. Now for finishing, I'm going to use the Urban Decay All Nighter spray, and we are done. And this is completely optional. If you don't want to see this hair part, then you can skip to the end, but I'm just going to show you how I do my hair on a regular. Now I've cut in curtain bangs, so I just put in some Tresemme heat protectant and then brushing it through with my Tangle Teaser, and then I'm going to go in with some straighteners and just kind of iron out all the kinks and sort out my curtain bangs and just how I kind of straighten and style them. Once I've finished faffing about with my fringe pieces, I will go in with some hairspray, and that is me done. Alright guys, so that is my typical makeup routine. I hope you enjoyed it. I also threw in a little bit of like a hair thing as well. I mean, I know it's not much going on, but just how I kind of like style my my curtain bangs. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks, bye.